Okay, so, ooh, okay, okay, that is good. Soon people look like they're okay. So good morning. First yoga class of 2021 for me. Yeah, for you guys too. Did you do any other yoga classes between when was the last time we met? Like before Christmas, right? The Friday before Christmas. Wow, so it's been like 3 weeks. Boy. Okay, so we got a lot of catching up to do, I guess. So how are you all feeling this morning? Yeah? Anybody anybody have any aches and pains this morning that you want to share? Your hands. Did someone say their hands? Hands. Oh, okay. So your hands are like just a little stiff this morning? Oh, you can't wear your rings. Oh, okay. The old trigger finger, right? Yep. Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, we'll do some work to free up those joints in the fingers and the hands. Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll try some movement, and if it doesn't work for you, then don't do it. Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. Well, let's start with a little bit of breathing this morning. So I'm going to have you just come right up to the front of your chair and have your feet underneath your knees and sit up nice and tall. Notice if you're leaning forward a little bit or if you're leaning back a little bit. You can get right to that sweet spot where you're right on your sitting bones. So your shoulders should be right above your hips. And then your head should be like I like to think of my head like a little water balloon kind of put shoulder. So let your neck muscles relax a bit. Sometimes we get into a posture where we're seated and we're like creating all this tension. But if you just kind of get yourself situated and then relax the muscles in your chest and your back, your shoulders, your neck, let your hands relax. We don't notice how much tension we normally carry in our hands. Just kind of let your hands relax a little bit. And then if it's comfortable, close your eyes and just follow your breath. You don't have to change anything about how you're breathing right now. Just follow the way the air is moving in and out. And if it's possible this morning to breathe in and out through your nose, that's the best way because your nose filters the air, filters out any little pollen, and it warms the air before it comes into your lungs, which is really nice because your lungs don't like cold air coming straight at them. So breathing in and out through your nose, if possible, just in your natural rhythm. And I just want you to investigate how quickly or slowly you're breathing. Notice if the breath is deep or shallow, and there is no right or wrong. It's just how things are in this moment. Notice the temperature of the air as you breathe in and the temperature as you breathe out. And then notice where you feel movements in your body as you're inhaling and exhaling. So do you feel movements in your chest, your belly, your ribs, your shoulders, your back? Or is it hard to feel movement? And let's consciously begin to deepen the breathing so that as you inhale, you can feel the breath going all the way down to your belly. And in order to allow that to happen, you need to soften your belly on the inhalation. And on the exhalations, engage your belly muscles. Pull your navel back toward your spine. So we're just exaggerating the breath a little bit, seeing if we can take in a little bit more on the inhalation and let a little bit more out on the exhalation. And you might imagine your belly kind of like a balloon. So with each breath, you're blowing up the balloon, and each breath out, you're pulling the needle back, so you're emptying the balloon. And then breathing out. Long, slow, deep breath. Feeling each inhalation go all the way to your belly. And each exhalation, kind of squeezing the belly muscles a little bit so you press all the breath out from the belly all the way up. One more full deep breath in and out. And after that exhalation, you're going to just return to your natural breath. And once again, just notice, how are you breathing? Is it normally, naturally, fast or slow? Is it shallow or deep? And what's the temperature now? And then let your eyes drift open. Okay, I'm going to start with a little bit of movement for the hands and fingers. So bring your hands up off your lap, and we're just going to squeeze and extend the fingers. So lots of little muscles in here in your fingers, lots of muscles in your arms that help to contribute to this. And then let's do kind of an interim step. So we're going to extend hands like starfish, right? So spread your little finger and your thumb as far away from each other as they can go. And then we're going to make a little bear claw. So you just kind of come halfway, like you're making a bear claw here. And then see if you can come into a fist. And it doesn't have to be a tight fist. And then we're going to go all the way to that starfish and the bear claw and the fist. And starfish, we're just going to continue this. So it's just this nice slow movement with the fingers. Now in the wintertime, in the cold weather months, some of us have arthritis that is activated by the cold. And that's usually crackly joints. There might be a little bit of swelling in there, some achiness. Whereas people who have a harder time in the summer, usually there's a lot of heat in there. It's puffy and kind of feels fluidy. It's kind of a different kind of arthritis. Okay, just a couple more times doing this nice and slow. Good, and breathing in and breathing out, right? So make sure you're breathing in and breathing out. Okay. And then let's just relax that and we'll shake out the hands a little bit. Okay. So let's extend both arms out, straightening the elbows, and keep your hands lower than your shoulders. So we're just going to bring the fingers down and up. And breathe in and out. So this is working some of the muscles in the hands, but also the muscles in the arms, right? So the ones that come up above your wrist and then above your elbow as well. And then from here, let's circle around.
Good girl.
And reverse direction. Good. Okay, and then let's take the right hand and do like a stop here. So it's like you're saying stop. Take your left hand and pull back on all your fingers. So don't worry about your thumb. Your thumb just kind of hang out, but all your fingers, you're pulling back. See if you can pull back as hard as you can, keeping that elbow straight. So with the elbow straight, we're stretching again the muscles here that come up into the arm, which is what we really want to do. Breathe in, breathe out. And then release that and bring your fingers down toward the floor, and then take your left hand, pardon me, and press on the back of your hand. So now we're stretching this part of the muscles there. So you don't want to be on your fingers, you want to be on the back of your hand. So that's a little too much for the little tendons in here. So breathing in, breathing out. The straighter your arm, the more benefit you're going to get here in the elbow. Great. And then the other side. So we're going to take the left hand and do that little stop. Pull back on all those fingers. So remember to have your hand a little lower than your shoulder. You can have it a lot lower if that works, but you definitely don't want it up here. That's going to create more tension. So pull back a little bit harder if you can. Breathing in, breathing out. Great, and then we'll release that, and we're going to bring the fingers down toward the floor. And once again, on the back of that hand, so take your other hand, other fingers, and just pull back. That should give you a good stretch in through here, into the arm, up into the elbow. And again, the straighter your elbow is, the more benefit you're going to get because you're stretching muscles that cross the elbow as well. Now notice if you're bringing your shoulder up toward your ear, you want to keep the shoulder down. Good. A couple more breaths. Excellent. Release that, and then let's circle these around a little bit. Okay, so keeping your arms extended with your palms up, we're going to come all the way up now into the elbows. So just bend your elbows and tap your shoulders. Again, breathing in and breathing out. Excellent. And just for fun, next time your hands are in, let's hold here, and we're going to extend just the right arm and then switch. Right? So we're going back and forth. Excellent. So that kind of mixes it up a little bit for the brain as well as the body. Next time you've got your right hand in, let your left hand join it, and then bring both elbows out to the sides. Now, keep your upper arms parallel to the floor if you can, right? So if they're way down here, you want to engage and bring them up here. And we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to extend and bend. Okay, a couple more. Extending and bending. And the next time you tap your shoulders, we're going to go right up overhead. So breathing in and out, going up overhead. And as you come down, pull the elbows way down toward the floor. As you come up, lift up as high as you can. Now, if you're working with a shoulder issue or an elbow or an arm issue, just do the best you can. All right, couple more. Breathing in and breathing out. Great. Two more. And last one. I'm going to hold the hands on or near the shoulders and then kayak the arms. So we've worked from the fingers, the little joints in the fingers, up to the wrists. We went to the elbows, and now we're at the shoulders. And you can make these kayaking movements really big if you twist your body a little bit as you do this, right? So as that right elbow comes forward, twist to the left. And as the left elbow comes forward, twist to the right. And let's reverse. So we're kind of going backwards. Oh, I can almost feel myself kayaking, right? The weather is not quite warm enough for that. Maybe the end of next week. I heard it's going to be 50 at the end of next week. That's nice. I know. Okay, then we'll come back to this kind of neutral position. We're going to take the right arm and pull it forward. Take your left elbow and pull back and make a little fist back here with this hand. Okay, breathe in and out, press out through that right arm, straighten the elbow as best you can. Inhaling and exhaling, we're going to switch. So as you pull one arm back, make a fist. As you push the other arm forward, open the flat part of your hand, the palm of your hand. So breathing in, breathing out, let's twist the body a little bit here too. So as you push one arm forward, you're going to twist in the opposite direction. Keep going, breathing in and breathing out. So we're challenging the spine a little bit here too. Couple more. Whew. How about one more on each side? And then we'll come back to a neutral position. Good. Take a moment, take a rest. Feel what's happening in your shoulders. And then let's circle the shoulders up, back down and around. And if it's a little noisy in there, that's okay. Shoulders are notoriously noisy. All right, and then relax the shoulders. We're going to move into the neck now, the neck and the shoulders a little bit, because oftentimes what's happening in your hands and your arms can be coming from your neck. Your neck is really tight. So let's just drop the chin to the chest. And as you hold your chin here near your chest, just relax your upper back and your neck. Relax your shoulders, your hands, your arms. And we're going to do a really slow motion yes movement. So lifting the chin up, breathing in and out, and bringing the chin all the way down. So the slower we go, the easier this is on the neck, on those little vertebrae in your neck, on those little discs between those little vertebrae in your neck. These are the smallest bones in your spine up here in your neck. The ones down in your low back, those are nice and big and juicy. They support your upper body. This just has to support your head, which for most of us weighs somewhere between 7 and 10 pounds, which is not an insignificant amount. So just a couple more, going up and down, breathing in, breathing out. And the last one, we're going to go all the way up and we finish with the chin on the chest. And we're going to hold here again. Breathing into the space in the back of the neck, breathing into the relaxation in your shoulders, your upper back, all the way down to your mid back. And then we'll raise the head back to kind of a neutral position. So now let's begin with a little bit of no movement. So turn to the right and then turn to the left. And it's just your neck and your head that are moving, not your shoulders, not your body, because we're just saying no. And this is like saying no to somebody who's, would like to work on you, right? Breathing in, breathing out. Couple more. And notice as you're doing this, if you have more range going in one direction than the other. For most of us, we're going to have an easier time turning in one direction than we are the other. Next time you look out over your right shoulder, I'm going to ask you to hold here and breathe. And let your eyes move all the way around in the eye sockets as far as they'll go. So it's like you're trying to look behind you without turning your body. Breathing in, breathing out. And then let's slowly come back around. And as you come back around, we're going to go all the way to the left. Same thing. Without turning your body. You're turning just your head and your neck. Let your eyes move as far around in the eye sockets as they'll go. Breathing in, breathing out. And coming all the way back to the center. Good. Relax your shoulders, your neck, your jaw. And now we're going to take the right ear and see if we can get it as close to that right shoulder as possible, but don't lift your right shoulder to meet your ear. Just let your shoulder relax. And then we're going to come up and over to the left, same thing. So again, really slow movement. We're just lifting and then bringing one ear toward the shoulder. And as you do this, you might notice when you bring your ears to your shoulder that one side feels a little tighter than the other. Quite often the case. We're not as symmetrical as we'd like to believe. Just a couple more of these, going side to side. And now what I'm going to ask you to do is choose the side that feels the tightest. So in other words, if you move to the right and your left side feels way tighter than when you move to the left, hang out there. So pick your side, the one that's going to give you the most benefit, and just stay there. Now, whatever side your ear is closest to your shoulder, let your other arm come down by your body. So let your hand come off your lap, and that will provide a deeper stretch through that side of the body. To get even deeper into the stretch, your other hand on that shoulder top and gently pull down and forward, right? So you're pulling down and forward. Breathe in, breathe out. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths. And just to make this even more interesting, keeping your head, your ear close to your shoulder on that side, you're going to turn your nose down and turn your nose up. So we've got all of these different angles in our stretch on this side. Breathing in and breathing out. And this is just an exploration. So whatever's working best for you. If you find a spot where when you put your head in a particular position, you're getting a really good stretch and you want to hang out there, stay there. I'm going to hang out right here for a couple of breaths because this feels extra good. Well, it feels extra bad, which means extra good, right? extra bad means it needs a stretch a little bit more over there on that other side. And then if you've been holding for a little bit, now just give yourself a couple of rotations up and down. Good. And then we can release that hand from the shoulder, bring the other hand back up to your lap, and then lift your head back up to center. Close your eyes for a moment and just take a moment and notice if one side of your neck feels longer than the other. You might even notice that that side of your body feels taller. It might feel like it's coming from your sitting bone all the way up to your head. You might feel that that arm is longer. All kinds of different things. Okay, let your eyes open and now identify the other side. So I was stretching this way before to get to that side. I'm going to go to the other side. So bring your ear to your other shoulder. Breathing in, breathing out. Let it hang out here a little bit. Relax your neck, your jaw, your hands. And then let the opposite arm hang down by your side. Breathe in and out. Take the hand from that same side, bring it across your body, and again, you're pulling down, kind of down and forward a little bit. So we're just going to place that hand on the shoulder and bring that shoulder down and forward. Oh. So you could feel this in the neck, you might feel it in the shoulder, you might feel it in the back, you could feel it in your head, even in your ear. And keeping the ear close to the shoulder, again, we're going to do that little rotational movement here with the head, just kind of turning down and up. Breathing in and out. Couple more breaths. Couple more rotations. And then maybe find a spot on this side. What position for your head gives you the most stretch? So it might not be the most pleasant position, but it's going to provide you with an opportunity to stretch that part of your neck and shoulder that maybe you haven't been getting access to. Breathe in and out, slow and deep. Let your belly rise, let your body expand on the inhalation. And let your body gently contract on the exhalation. And then slowly bring your head kind of up and down a few times if you've been holding. Good. And then we can release that hand from the shoulder, bring the other hand to your lap, and then draw your head back up to center. Close your eyes for another moment. Take a breath in and out and notice. Hopefully, you feel like you're the same length on both sides now. Maybe your arms feel the same length or your shoulders feel a little farther away from your ears. Let's take a deep breath in, let it out the sides, you let your eyes open. Great. Okay, we're going to shift gears a little bit and move down toward the lower part of the body. So extend your right leg, and we're going to start with the toes. So in my sneaker, this is what I'm doing with my toes. I'm squeezing and then extending my toes. Breathing in, breathing out. Those without shoes on, you're going to get a much better range here for sure. So if, like me, you've got your sneaker on now, do this one at home with your sneaker off, and then we'll start to point and flex the foot. So that requires a little bit of lifting here, feeling your belly. Right? You can have your hands alongside your hips on the chair. That helps to support your back a little bit here. And then we're going to lift that leg up and circle at the ankle. Circling at the ankle, breathing in, breathing out. And reverse direction. Okay, and then we're going to bring that heel down to the floor. Now I'm going to ask you to bring your hands here just because we're going to be lifting that leg up and pulling it in. So we'll be bending the knee. And this is when, in this kind of movement is often when we start to do a little bit of flexing. I'm really grossly exaggerating this, but we'll often do a little flexing in the spine. We want to make sure we keep the spine in integrity. So pull your belly muscles in a little bit, and then we're going to bend and extend that knee. Bending and extending. Breathing in and breathing out. Anybody else got noisy knees? Yeah, a little bit. Mine's pretty noisy up here this morning. All kinds of complaints. Okay, and then we're going to take that foot underneath and bring the bottom of your foot to the floor and then slide or wiggle that foot underneath your chair as far as it will go. Now, once your foot is back there, as far as it'll go, again, if you're in a sneaker like I am, there's not a whole lot of stretch underneath the toes. If you're in a sock or a bare foot, you're going to get a lot more of a stretch. So press down on your toes and try and bring your heel down toward the floor. Does that make sense? So it's like we're pushing down into that whole foot and then release that. And we'll just keep doing that. Push down and release. And breathe as you do this. And if you need a little bit more, you want to investigate a little bit more of a stretch, slide your hands back to the back part of your chair and then lean back into your hands. Keep your spine nice and tall. So in other words, you don't want to be kind of slumped like this. You want to keep the spine nice and tall. And keep breathing in and breathing out. Okay, one more. And then we'll come all the way back. So if you slid your hands back, slide them out. Let's extend that leg. And now let's bend the knee again. I'm going to extend and hold here, squeezing the muscles right here in the top part of the leg, right above the knee. These are your quadriceps muscles. And we're going to rotate this whole leg in and out. So the rotation happens way up here near the hip. And you want to make sure you have your hands on your chair because this is, again, where my back is going to want to kind of collapse a little bit, keeping the belly nice and strong. Good. So make sure that rotation is happening way up in your hip. And the next time you rotate out to the side, out to the little toe side, hold it there. And we're going to lower the leg, just tap the heel and lift. And tap and lift. So keep the foot angled out to the side as far as it will go. So for some people that might look like 1 o'clock. For some people it might be like 2 o'clock or even approaching 3 o'clock. Okay. Next time you tap, let's hold here for a moment. We're going to rotate the whole leg in. So now you're going to the big toe side. So again, looking down at your foot, you might be at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. And we're going to hold it in that position and lift and lower. So again, breathing in, breathing out. Keeping your hands here. It's a little harder for some of us. Right? You're all still with me. Everybody's focused. Okay, next time you lower down, hold here. We're going to bring the foot up and over. Now we're just going to rotate here with the heel on the floor. So we're letting it relax a little bit. Great. Okay, let's bend that knee, bring that foot to the floor. Underneath that knee, extend your other leg, heel on the floor. We're going to start with the toes. So just like this is what I'm doing in my sneaker, just like the other side. We're doing that squeezing and releasing of the toes. It's the same thing we did with our hands, right? We're kind of squeezing and extending here. Okay, can't quite make the same kind of fist or the same kind of starfish. Great, and then we'll start to point and flex the foot. So get some movement at the ankle. And once again, if it feels more comfortable for you to have your hands on your chair, do that. So you want to support your back. Excuse me. Nothing we're doing should give you any pain or discomfort in your low back. If it does, it just means you need a little bit more support right there. Okay, and then we'll start to circle around at the ankle. Notice your breath. Yeah. That changes everything, you guys. So whatever stressful movement, let's reverse direction here. If you're moving your body and it's stressful, like this is a stressful movement for the body. If you slow your breath down, it's going to change your biochemistry a little bit. Okay, now we're going to bring the heel to the floor. And now to make sure your hands are right here on your chair, I'm going to press into the hands a little bit to give my back some support and pull the belly muscles in. And then we're going to bend and extend that knee. Okay, how's the noise level on this side? Better or worse? Yeah, better. Okay. That other knee is a little more vocal. Okay, so the next time you bend that knee, we're going to have the foot on the floor and then slide or wiggle or cajole that foot back there as far as it'll go. Once again, with a shoe on, not as much of a stretch for under your toes, but still beneficial. So press your heel down toward the floor as you press your toes into the floor, and then release. And press and release. And we'll keep doing this a few times, pressing and releasing. So this could be stretching up here in your thigh, it could be stretching around your knee, your ankle, you could be getting that in your foot. And then if you'd like, you can slide your hands back on your chair, lean back a little bit. That gives a little different flavor to the stretch. Couple more. Okay, and then slide your hands forward. We're going to extend and bend that leg just a couple of times. And then the next time that you extend, hold it up here. Keep your hands right here on your chair. Breathing in, breathing out. Those are the quadriceps muscles up here in the top part of the leg. Again, you might have your foot really high, you might have your foot really low, doesn't matter. As long as you're feeling it here in your thigh, that's where we want to go. Let's rotate the leg in and out. And we're sitting up nice and tall. So the hands are forward and the body is up tall and the shoulders are relaxed. Breathing in, breathing out. Good. Next time you're rotated to the little toe side, we're going to hold there. And then we're going to lower tap and lift. Tap and lift. So once again, it doesn't matter how high you lift. What matters is the integrity of your spine, your breath. Slow is better, because slow is harder. And the next time that you have your heel on the floor, we're going to hold here and we're going to rotate that whole leg into the big toe side. Okay, so holding it on the big toe side, we're going to lift and lower. All right. So again, now you generally aren't going to be able to lift as high with the leg rotated in as you are able to lift with the leg rotated out. Okay, next time your heel comes down to the floor, we're going to do some of those windshield wipers here, just in and out. Good. Okay, let's bend that knee, bring that foot back in, hold your hands on your thighs for a moment, close your eyes, sit up nice and tall. Breathing in, breathing out, and notice your feet, your legs, your knees, your ankles, your hips, your thighs. Okay, one more before we come up to standing. I'm going to have you bring your feet a little wider apart than your hips. I'm going to do a little bit of work for the spine. So if we start with the spine, let's see. If you take your hands, find your hip bones. They're sort of here in the front. They're kind of a bony little bones. If you go in, it's a little bit softer. If you come out, you'll find those little bones. So what I want you to do now is arch your low back like you're trying to bring your hip bones forward, and then round your low back like you're bringing your hip bones back. Right? So the rest of your spine is going to kind of arch as this happens, but the movement is from here. So let's keep doing this movement. And then I just wanted you to know where your hip bones were. You're going to bring your hands to your thighs. And we're going to do this arching all the way up. Come all the way up. And then all the way forward. Breathing in, breathing out as you're doing this. It doesn't like when I do that. So it's easier to inhale when you're arching your back. It's a bit more natural. Couple more times. We call the cat and cow in yoga. Oops, sorry for the feedback. One more time. And come back. So what we basically just did was we exercised your spine. You've got your vertebrae that are kind of one on top of the other, and there's discs in between those that act like cushions. And what we just did now is we worked the spine all the way up in this kind of flexing and arching movement, and that gives more range of movement in between those vertebrae. And it also does a little something to the disc. It like compresses and releases, so it actually helps fluid exchange a little bit better in the discs and can make them a little bit more pliable, right? Because our discs, as we age, can get a little they can get a little more fibrosy feeling. And if there's not a lot of movement in those discs, it can be uncomfortable. There can be spots in your back where it's just doesn't seem to want to move. So just doing this simple movement, this is the cat and cow, just doing this simple movement can really change that a bit. Okay, so we're going to come up to standing. So I'm going to have you bring your feet again a little bit wider than your hips and with your toes angled very slightly out. It's just easier to get up that way. And as we've been working on this in the last couple of months, I guess, think about coming forward as opposed to just coming up. So you can come forward with your hands on your lap, or you can bring your arms out in front. And as you come forward, you're going to shift your weight. Sorry, I'm going to have to move this. You're going to shift your weight forward and come all the way up to standing. Okay, so we're going to sit back down. So you might have to walk back a little closer to your chair. You're going to do that a couple of times, right? So just with your feet a little wider than your hips, angled out. Sorry, guys. You're going to lean forward, and then you're going to come all the way up. So I'm not doing it because I'm messing around with this microphone. So, and I just lost you. And come all the way up to standing. Good. And one more time. So have a seat, slow and steady. Beautiful. And then one more time, we're going to lean forward and slowly come up to standing. Excellent. All right, let's walk around to the back of the chair. Okay. So standing near the back of the chair, this just kind of gives you an opportunity to rest your hands here and use that for a little bit of support. We're going to be balancing on one leg. So I'm going to have you balance first on your right leg. Have your right foot right underneath your knee. And then we're going to take the left leg and we're going to just bend the knee a little bit. So I'm going to turn sideways just so you can see. So we're just going to bend that knee a little bit here. Breathe in, breathe out. Now notice if you're leaning into that right side. Let's put that foot on the floor once again. I'm going to try that again. So shift all your weight into your right foot. Bend your left knee. Breathe in, breathe out. See if you can let go of your chair with one hand. Find something to focus your gaze on. With your gaze focused on one thing that's not moving, I should have said that, it's going to be a little bit easier here to balance. So see if you can breathe slow and steady. And then see if even just for a second, you can take that other hand and lift it off the chair. And maybe you need to place it back down, and that's okay. So breathe in, breathe out. Notice how relatively easy or difficult this is. Good, and then both hands to the chair. We're going to bring that foot back down to the floor. Shake out that leg you were just standing on. Okay, let's do the same thing on the other side. So shifting your weight into your left leg entirely. As we shift the weight into the left leg, focus your gaze on something in front of you. We're going to bend that right knee, bringing the foot behind you a little bit. Breathing in, breathing out. So you should feel it back here in the back of your leg as you're holding your leg in this position. Breathe in, breathe out. Let's take one hand off. Okay, focusing on something that's not moving. So don't look at me because I guarantee I'm going to sway a little bit up here. And then see if you can take your other hand, even if it's just momentarily. Breathing in, breathing out. Ooh. So notice if your balance is better on one side than the other. That's often the case too. You're better able to balance on one side. Keep breathing. Good, and then let's relax that. Both hands down, shake out your standing leg. Okay. Okay, so bringing your weight equally and evenly into both feet. Press into your heels a little bit more. Press into the outer edges of your feet and then down into the bottoms of your toes. Think about your hips being lined up right above your ankles. Pull your belly in, get nice and tall. Okay. And now we're going to shift the weight back into that right leg. And as we do, instead of bending the left knee and bringing the foot behind, we're going to bend the left knee and bring the foot to the inside of your standing leg. Right? So just like this. Again, finding a spot to gaze at that you can anchor your awareness to, breathing in and breathing out, slow and steady. See See if you can take one hand off your chair. And then if you'd like to give it a try, see if you can lift the other hand, even if it's just momentarily, right? If you're doing really well here and you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, try lifting your foot up off the floor entirely. Whew, that changes everything. So this is tree pose in yoga. Great opportunity to practice balance, awareness, focus. Just notice, right? It can be totally frustrating. And then let's lower that foot back down. Ooh, shake that standing leg out a little bit. And do the same thing on the other side. So starting first with both feet, pressing down into your heels, outer edges, bottoms of the toes. Shift your weight now into the left side. And as you shift into the left side, come up on the toes and kind of bring that foot so that it's resting on the inside of your standing leg. Find that gaze point. Find your breath so it's long, slow, and deep. And we're going to take one hand off the chair. Breathe in, breathe out. Maybe try the other hand, maybe even just for a moment, maybe push back, that's okay. Inhaling and exhaling. If you're feeling really balanced on this side, you want to challenge yourself a little bit more. Take that foot up. Doesn't have to go up far, shouldn't be on the inside of your knee. So if it's way up here, you want to bring it way down here. Breathing in, breathing out, taking the hand off the chair. Wow, even more difficult, right? So keep breathing in, breathing out, keep focusing on your gaze point. 2 more breaths if you can. And then we're going to bring that foot to the floor. Excellent. Let's shake things out a little bit here. Okay. Okay. So working with balance, I will say this. A daily practice of working with balance helps. It helps us with our awareness, and it does help with our balance. However, your balance is constantly fluctuating. I find that in yoga, in anything I do, balance is the most humbling thing I can do. Because just when I feel like I got this, I'm doing much better, something comes up and I'm just not really good at it. I don't feel like I'm able to balance very well. So it's something to practice often. And one of the best places to practice your balancing is when you're brushing your teeth, because you're standing at the sink anyway. It's just about the right height. You've got something you can rest your hand on, so your other hand is busy doing something. And you can gaze in the mirror, or you can look at something else in your bathroom that's right there. But that's a really good way to kind of get this in without, kind of, what am I trying to say, optimizing your time, right? So you're standing there anyway. Okay, so let's do a little bit of stretching now. I'm going to turn my chair to the side just so you can see. So I'm going to shift the weight into the right leg a bit. I'm going to take the left leg and bring it way back so your big toe is on the floor, or the tip of your sneaker is on the floor. Right? So you might have to go back a little farther to get that. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to bend the front knee as you bring that back heel right down toward the floor. Ooh, I can't even get mine down there this morning. And then we're going to come up as we straighten that front knee. And come down and up. I'm going to bring my foot in a little bit because I can't even get my heel close to the floor. We're trying to get that back heel down onto the floor if it's possible. Breathing in and breathing out. And adjusting your back foot if you need to bring it a little closer or a little farther out. Next time you have your heel on the floor back there, let's hold. Now, for most of us, you can see I'm leaning forward, right? I'm going to pull my chair back. I want to get up nice and tall here. So the body is nice and tall as we're holding that heel on the floor. Does everybody have their heel on the floor? Okay, so keep your heel on the floor and bend your back knee a little bit. That shifts the focus of the stretch. And then straighten your knee. Just the back one. Front one stays bent. So we're just going to bend and straighten. And you can see my knee, right? It's a very small bend, not at all. Because if I bent it a lot, my heel would come up off the floor. Next, I bend my knee. I'm going to hold here for a moment. Or maybe more than a moment. Hold here for a few breaths. So we're stretching a muscle right now with that knee bent and the heel on the floor. We're stretching a muscle that's really deep in that lower leg. And that particular muscle goes down around the bottom of the heel and into the bottom of your foot. So it's wonderful for people who have plantar fasciitis or any kind of tightness in the bottom of the foot. This is a great way to stretch that. Because when my leg is straight, I'm not stretching that muscle. I'm getting different muscles. So I'm not going to get quite the benefit. How about one more breath here with that knee bent? And then straighten the knee. Good. We're going to come up on the toes of the back foot, straighten your front knee, and then we're going to step the feet together. Okay. Kind of make a little bend here a couple times, and then shift the weight into the left foot and take your right foot, step it way back onto the toe first. So if you're in your sneaker, it's the toe of your sneaker. If you're in your bare feet or stocking feet, it's on your big toe. And then we're going to bend that front knee as we bring the back heel to the floor. And come up. Now, when you come up, you're straightening the front knee. And you're straightening that back leg. I'm going to bring my foot in just a little bit because I got a little too excited that I could get that foot on the floor. So interesting. Are you noticing a difference in how far back this foot is versus the other one? I am noticing a big difference. You want to know why? Because the foot I have back right now, next time you bend your front knee and have that heel on the floor, let's hold here. So I notice I can get this foot back a lot farther and have the heel on the floor because I injured this knee back in March, and this leg has gotten so much rehab that it's now looser than my other leg. So I'm going to have to work on that, balance it out a little bit. So keeping that heel on the floor back there, we're going to just give that back knee a little bit of a bend and then straighten. And a little bend and straighten and keep breathing. And once again, you might notice that on this side, maybe you have more bend in the knee and keeping the heel on the floor. Maybe you have a little bit less. Try and move this knee around. Okay, next time you bend that back knee, let's hold here. There's something about the way I'm twisting that this system doesn't like. Okay, so we've got the back knee with a very slight bend to it. And we'll get that heel on the floor, and now we're stretching that muscle that goes underneath the heel and under the bottom of the foot. How about 2 more breaths here? That feels like about 2, right? Okay, let's straighten that back knee, and then we're going to come up on the toes of the back foot, straighten your front knee, and then walk your feet together. So let's just kind of shake things out a little bit here. Okay. All right. So we're going to do something here. I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. Can all of you bend over the back of your chair? You're a little teeny one. I know you have a hard time. So if you can't bend over the back of your chair like this, I'm going to ask you to take your chair and just turn it this way so that you're facing it. Yeah, I think that would be a good option for you. Okay. And the reason why I want you to be able to do this is because we're going to come forward. Now, I'm a little on the shorter side myself, so I'm going to do it this way. And I'm going to show you what we're doing. So we're going to come forward and have the hands on the chair so that they're under your shoulders. And then you're going to lean forward a little bit. So what we're doing is we're stretching the hands, the wrists, and the forearms. Again, if you're like this, so I'm actually rethinking this. I'm thinking we all should be with our chair that way. Yeah, I think the back of the chair is going to get in the way, right? Okay. So it's fun to teach something for the first time with equipment that you've never done it on before. Okay. Yeah, I think this will be better. So again, you're going to bend over a little bit so that your wrists are under your shoulders, right? So wherever you are, if you're leaning forward. And then we're going to lean forward. That gives more of a stretch. Can you guys feel that? Yes. Okay. Maybe that microphone back. So we're just going to lean forward and then come back. So this is a stretch for the hands, the arms, and the shoulders. And I don't know about you guys, but I can feel this in my thumbs. I've got especially one thumb that's a little tight. So we're going to come, the next time you come forward, see if you can hold here for a minute. and then relax. Okay, come back and come all the way up. Let's circle the wrists. How does that feel? Does that feel okay? Ouch, ouch. Okay, so one more for the hands and wrists. Now, what I'm showing you guys is something that I teach people who operate computers a lot, and I have them do this at their desks. So I have them do these kinds of things at their desks. So what we're going to do now is have one hand. So let's all do the right hand will be in the extended position, or you can be on a fist. So if ouch is like, don't do that again, you can just be on your fist. Your left hand, instead of being like this, is going to be like this. Okay? So we're going to take the left hand, turn your fingers in toward the other arm. You guys kind of got that? So this is the position, whoops. This is the position you're going to be in. Does that make sense? Right hand is on the chair. Left hand, fingers face in, and you're on the back of the hand. On the side, yep, exactly. And keep the elbows straight. Oh, and breathe. Did I mention that? Okay, couple more. I can really feel that in a different spot in my arm too. And then let's come all the way up. Circle that around. Did you all feel that? Could you? Okay, just want to make sure we're kind of getting this. Again, it's a little different on a chair. I'm usually teaching people this on a desk or on the floor when we're on hands and knees. So let's do the same thing on the other side. So your left hand now is in that extended position or on a fist. If it just feels like your wrist has had enough, we're going to take the right hand, bring the fingers toward the left arm, bring the back of the hand to the chair and press down. Breathe in, breathe out. Excellent. How about one more breath in and out? And then we'll come all the way up. Good job, you guys. Circle that around a little bit. Okay, so we did a little extra work for hands and wrists today. I love having things in the room that we can kind of work on a little bit. So let's come around to, oh, you're going to have to turn your chairs back to the other way, to the regular way. Come around, have your backs of your knees up close to your chair. We're going to squat without sitting. So we're just going to squat down. Come down as low as you can. Hold here for a breath or two, pull your belly in. And then see if you can sit really slowly without kind of plopping into your chair. Excellent. Whew. All right. Let's sit comfortably, maybe sitting into the back of your chair or sitting up close to the front of your chair. That feels better. Let your hands rest on your lap. Close your eyes. Breathing in, breathing out. And we're going to end where we began, which is just noticing the breath, watching the way the air is moving in and out of your body. Deepening your breath into your belly, your rib cage, your collarbones. And see if you can slow the breath down. As you inhale and exhale, notice what you're feeling in your body. So all the work we just did, all the exercises, stretches, movements we did, how is that resonating in your body right now? Breathing in, breathing out. Notice how the air is moving in your body. And notice how the movement exercises that we just did, how that's presenting itself to you right now, what your body's telling you. And take your hands up to your heart. As you breathe in and out, feel the movement underneath your hands. Take a deep breath in, let it out with a sigh. And then we'll take one final moment in gratitude, maybe bringing your hands together and gratitude to yourself for your wisdom, your light, your compassion, and eternal beauty. And perhaps opening your eyes and just acknowledging that same wisdom, light, compassion, and beauty. So thank you, everybody. It's so great to be back, starting out the new year together. All right, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next week.